love the Eagles as much as we do, then hit that subscribe button and stick with us at Eagles Nest News for all the drama, updates, and hype all season long. The Philadelphia Eagles sent a shockwave through the league grapevine when whispers began circulating that the franchise was opening the door to a reunion with Zach Ertz, a name that still echoes loudly in the memories of fans and insiders alike. In locker room corridors and radio call-ins, the idea feels almost surreal, like reopening a chapter many believed was closed for good. The rumor suggests that the Eagles, always calculated but rarely sentimental, are weighing far more than nostalgia. They are reportedly intrigued by the possibility of restoring a familiar presence who understands the city, the pressure, and the expectations that come with wearing midnight green. Around the league, people are framing this not as a simple roster move, but as a philosophical statement, a sign that the Eagles may be searching for stability, leadership, and identity as much as on-field production. Some insiders hint that conversations have been quiet and deliberate, avoiding media noise while gauging locker room chemistry and cap flexibility. Others claim the front office sees Ertz as a bridge between eras, someone who can speak both the language of veterans and the mindset of younger players. In the rumor mill, this potential return is described as both bold and cautious, shocking and logical at the same time, which only adds fuel to speculation that something meaningful could be brewing behind closed doors. For many around the Eagles ecosystem, the mere mention of Zach Ertz returning triggers emotional reactions that go far beyond scheme and playbooks. This is a player who once symbolized reliability, professionalism, and clutch presence, and that reputation still lingers in conversations among former teammates and coaches. The speculation suggests that decision-makers believe his voice could once again carry weight in the huddle, especially in moments where composure matters more than raw athleticism. Some league observers argue that the Eagles are quietly acknowledging that experience has become a scarce resource in a roster that leans heavily on youth and upside. Bringing back Ertz, according to this line of thinking, would be less about chasing past glory and more about injecting calm into a high-pressure environment. Rumors even hint that younger tight ends have been named dropping Ertz in meetings, citing his film, his preparation habits, and his situational awareness as a benchmark. In this narrative, the Eagles are not chasing highlights, but trust. Around the league, executives are said to be surprised not by the idea itself, but by how seriously Philadelphia seems to be entertaining it. The shock comes from realizing this is not just fan-driven fantasy, but a calculated discussion rooted in football realities and cultural fit. There is also a strategic layer to this rumor that has analysts talking late into the night. The Eagles are widely perceived as a forward-thinking organization, one that values versatility and matchup flexibility, and Ertz's potential return fits neatly into that philosophy. Speculation paints him as a chess piece rather than a centerpiece, someone who can exploit defensive tendencies through intelligence rather than speed alone. Insiders whisper that coaches believe his understanding of spacing and timing could unlock elements of the offense that have been inconsistent. This is not framed as a move that would dominate headlines for explosive plays, but one that could quietly stabilize critical downs and red zone situations. The rumor mill suggests that Philadelphia sees value in familiarity, particularly when installing or refining complex concepts that demand trust between quarterback and target. Some even suggest that Ertz's presence could accelerate development for others simply through daily practice habits. Around the league, this has sparked debate about whether veteran tight ends are undervalued in modern football, especially those with proven chemistry and high-leverage moments. The Eagles, if these rumors hold weight, might be positioning themselves as believers in nuance over noise. Another angle gaining traction involves the locker room dynamic and the subtle leadership vacuum that can emerge when turnover happens too quickly. According to speculation, the Eagles have noticed that leadership cannot always be manufactured through titles or contracts, and that credibility is earned through shared history. Zach Ertz, in this rumor-driven narrative, represents a voice that would not need to introduce itself. Players would already know what he stands for, how he prepares, and how he responds under scrutiny. Insiders suggest that this familiarity could be especially valuable during adversity, when younger players often look for cues on how to respond. The shock factor here is not about whether ERTZ can still contribute, but whether his return would instantly recalibrate the emotional temperature of the team. Some around the league believe Philadelphia is exploring this option precisely because it sends a message internally that standards matter and history is respected. This is framed less as a reunion tour and more as a recalibration of culture. The rumor continues to grow because it aligns with a broader narrative that the Eagles want to reinforce accountability without dramatically reshaping the roster. Financial considerations, of course, are never far from the conversation, and speculation around this reunion has sparked intense debate about value versus sentiment. Insiders insist that any potential return would be structured carefully, avoiding the pitfalls of overcommitting to the past. The Eagles are rumored to be confident that a deal could be crafted to reflect role clarity and mutual respect rather than star billing. This pragmatic approach has impressed some executives around the league, who see it as evidence that Philadelphia is not acting impulsively. The shock, then, is not recklessness, but restraint. People close to the situation whisper that ERTZ himself is intrigued by the idea of unfinished business, though nothing is framed as guaranteed or emotional. The narrative suggests both sides are approaching the possibility with open eyes, aware of expectations and limitations. This balance between heart and head is what makes the rumor compelling. It feels less like a fairy tale and more like a calculated reunion that could benefit both parties if aligned properly. Around the NFL, this type of disciplined speculation is rare, which is why it continues to dominate conversations. As the rumor spreads, fans and analysts alike are dissecting every quote and silence, searching for signs that the Eagles are serious about bringing Zach Ertz back into the fold. The shock element persists because it challenges assumptions about how teams move on from iconic players. Philadelphia, in this speculative storyline, appears willing to revisit the past not out of desperation, but out of confidence in its evaluation process. This rumored move is being framed as a reminder that progress does not always require erasing history. Instead, it can involve selectively re-embracing it when circumstances align. Whether this reunion materializes or remains a tantalizing what-if, the conversation itself has already reshaped perceptions of the Eagles' priorities. Around the league, the idea has sparked copycat discussions, with other teams reconsidering the value of familiarity and leadership. In the end, this rumor stands as a testament to how one name can still command attention, spark debate, and challenge conventional wisdom long after initial chapters have closed. The second part of this unfolding speculation dives deeper into how the potential return of Zach Ertz could ripple beyond the Eagles themselves, subtly influencing narratives across the entire league. Insiders describe a sense that Philadelphia may be attempting to redefine how veteran players are reintegrated into evolving systems, not as saviors, but as stabilizers. The rumors suggest that coaches believe Ertz's football intelligence could act as an extension of the staff on the field, helping translate complex ideas into real-time adjustments. This is especially intriguing to analysts who argue that the mental side of the game is often overshadowed by measurables. The shock here is philosophical, not transactional. By entertaining this reunion, the Eagles are rumored to be signaling that adaptability and experience still hold premium value. Around the NFL, this has ignited quiet conversations among front offices about their own former players and whether bridges were burned unnecessarily. The idea that a franchise can move forward while still honoring proven contributors challenges the league's usual obsession with constant churn. In this speculative lens, ERTZ becomes a symbol of balance between evolution and continuity. Another layer of intrigue centers on how opposing defenses might react if this reunion becomes reality. Rumors suggest that even without elite speed, ERTZ's presence demands respect because of his understanding of leverage and coverage tendencies. Defensive coordinators are said to still reference his film when teaching younger players about route discipline and situational awareness. The Eagles, according to speculation, maybe betting that such respect alone can alter how defenses allocate attention, opening subtle opportunities elsewhere. This is not about explosive mismatches, but about forcing opponents to think twice. Analysts whisper that football often hinges on hesitation, and a familiar name can create just enough doubt to tilt an advantage. The shock factor grows when considering how a player's reputation can outlast physical prime. In this narrative, ERTZ's value lies as much in perception as production. The Eagles appear to be exploring that psychological edge, a move that feels both old school and quietly innovative. Speculation also highlights the mentorship aspect, suggesting that ERTZ could serve as a living blueprint for younger players navigating the pressures of professional football. Insiders claim that the Eagles have prioritized internal development and see mentorship as an underutilized resource. Bringing back a respected veteran who understands the city's intensity could accelerate growth in ways that do not show up on stat sheets. This rumor paints ERTZ as someone who could help normalize preparation standards, film study habits, and emotional resilience. Around the league, some executives view this as a subtle market correction, recognizing that development does not always require new faces. The shock lies in the humility of the approach. Instead of chasing the next big thing, the Eagles are rumored to be investing in shared knowledge. This perspective has resonated with former players turned analysts, who argue that locker room education is often overlooked. In this speculative framework, ERTZ's return becomes a case study in sustainable culture building. The fan reaction component cannot be ignored, and rumors suggest the Eagles are acutely aware of how emotionally charged this potential move would be. Philadelphia is known for its passionate fan base, and the idea of ERTZ returning taps into collective memory and identity. Insiders whisper that the organization believes such a move could strengthen the bond between team and city, reinforcing a sense of continuity. This is not framed as a marketing stunt, but as an authentic reconnection. The shock here is how openly the Eagles may be embracing emotional intelligence as part of team management. Around the league, franchises often downplay sentiment, yet this rumor suggests Philadelphia sees value in it when aligned with football sense. Analysts debate whether this emotional lift could translate into on-field confidence, but the discussion itself highlights how layered the decision appears to be. The Eagles, in this narrative, are not afraid of feeling as long as it serves function. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news and comments below. From a broader league perspective, this rumor has sparked renewed debate about how legacies are handled in modern football. Insiders suggest that the Eagles might be challenging the idea that once a player leaves, the story must end permanently. By reopening the door for ERTZ, they are rumored to be advocating for more fluid career arcs. This has resonated with veteran players across the league, many of whom see it as validation that contributions are remembered. The shock factor is cultural, hinting at a potential shift in how franchises view loyalty and long-term relationships. Analysts speculate that if this reunion proves successful, it could influence future decisions league-wide. Teams may become more open to revisiting familiar faces under the right conditions. In this way, the ERTZ rumor extends beyond one roster, touching on the evolving identity of the NFL itself. As the speculation continues to swirl, the Eagles remain silent, a strategy that only intensifies curiosity and debate. Insiders interpret this silence as deliberate, allowing the idea to breathe without confirmation or denial. The shock persists because the possibility feels plausible, grounded in logic rather than fantasy. Whether or not Zach Ertz ultimately suits up again in Philadelphia, the rumor has already achieved something rare. It has reframed how people think about progress, memory, and value in professional football. The Eagles, intentionally or not, have sparked a conversation that transcends transactions. In this speculative saga, the potential reunion stands as a reminder that football is as much about stories as it is about schemes, and sometimes the most compelling chapters are the ones thought to be finished. Finally, The overarching narrative of Michael Pierce's comeback captures the imagination because it is about more than football. It is about legacy, reinvention, and the magnetic allure of a return against the odds. Every report, every insider tip, every social media post contributes to an unfolding drama that keeps fans on edge, waiting for confirmation and imagining the implications for the Eagles, the league, and Pierce himself. Analysts and fans alike are drawn into debates about how a player's presence can transcend statistics, influencing culture, strategy, and the very psychology of competition. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.